Good morning, everybody. I ain't going out there. I can tell you. It's not too cold, -3, -4. No wind, but nippy. And, you know what? Keep the doors shut, keep the noise down. I'm going to talk about protests and protesters. And what's going on with protests and protesters. Oh, good morning. Oh, how are you this morning? If it was summertime, I'd kick you out, but it's cold out there, so you can live here rent-free. Anyhow, if you go and ask a protester somewhere, any country in the world, they're protesting in every country in the world, basically. What are they protesting against? Oh, we're protesting against the government. Why? Oh, they did this, they keep doing this, they keep doing that. And I would like to pose the question to them. Who's the enemy? Who are you against? Basically, everyone will come out and say, the government is the enemy, and we need to vote them out and get a new lot in. Which, I mean, what's the government? It's made up of politicians, and they are actors. I've said it before, they're disposable, they're replaceable, they're like shark's teeth. You pull the bad one out and click, another one clicks into place behind it. And they exist only for people to throw fucking eggs and tomatoes at. And they call themselves politicians. And people say, do you support politics? Oh yes, I support politics. Do you support government? Yes, I support government. They don't even know what the fucking words mean. Politics is 2 words. Poly means a multitude of, and ticks are fucking blood-sucking vampires who kill you. And government is 2 words. Government, governmental. Govern means to control. Mental is the mind controllers. Parliament, what does that mean? Parliament, speak. Parley means speak. Ment is mind. So, a bunch of mind-controlling, blood-sucking ticks speak to the mind. And the poor protesters are out there really not knowing who the enemy is and thinking that they're going to make a change when they vote this asshole out. But there's another fucking shark's tooth coming. And all of these people that get the top positions in government are groomed from a very early age. And a few of them are groomed, a number of them are groomed. If something happens, this guy pops in, and it's the world over. Like I said before, they're like a filter on a diesel engine. If you don't remove the filter every 5,000 miles, the engine stops working, get blocked up. The Cabal is the engine, the oil-burning monster. We are the fuel, and we have to pass through this filter, which is what government is. And they're there so we don't damage the engine. That's why they exist. Like a diaper on a baby. If you don't change it, the smell will have to leave the room. That's what government is. That's what politicians are. And the poor, what do you call them out there, the protesters, are protesting against the wrong enemy. They do not know what the corporate overlord is and what it's doing. And you've seen many depictions of the pyramid that show the Cabal at the top and all the different organizations as you run down through that pyramid. I don't know what order they're in. I don't know how many of them are. But in it, you've got the banking system, you've got the corporate world, you've got the military, you've got the police, you've got the judiciary, you've got all these different groups in a line down, 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 down the pyramid. And at the very bottom of the pyramid are the politicians. They're the most hated people in the world. They're hated by the Cabal because they carry out the Cabal's orders. They're hated by us. They're hated by everybody. You know, they're the most fucking unlovable people. But we are not in the pyramid. We, the people, we hold the pyramid up. If it wasn't for us, there wouldn't be a fucking pyramid. And we're all guilty, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not. Yesterday, I bought a chunky bar. Yeah. About 30% of that goes to the state in taxes. I'm holding the fucking pyramid up. I ain't fucking happy about it. But this corporate overlord that is the enemy is the world's largest land and property owner. They own the banking system. And who owns the banking system? Who's it run by? It's owned by the Jesuits. They've got employees like Rothschilds and Rockefellers and all these other assholes. Employees work for the fucking Jesuit bank. Don't own anything. And the Jesuits are the military wing of the Catholic Church. They were founded as a military wing. And all three-letter agencies all over the world, like the CIA, if there's a chance of war, then there's a chance of another land grab. So if there's a chance of a war happening in any fucking island state in the middle of nowhere, they're in immediately. Advising, saying, oh, look, we can arm you, we can help you, we can do it, and to get a war going. The human sacrifice that takes part during the war is also part of their fucking ritual. These people, they are the ones that make the decisions on how much money is robbed from you. They take all taxes. It's not the decision of government to put taxes up and take more money from the people. They are told what to do because all profits, all roads lead to Rome, all profits go back to that Jesuit order. And these stupid priests that we have they're running out of them all over the world, these Catholic priests, are basically Roman centurions. And they've gone around and they've rounded up the people for collective religious gatherings in stolen buildings. They talk God, Jesus, fear, hell, all these things, while the system that they're operating under undermines our existence in every nation. And as I said before, any country, you can't be a country without a contract with the bank and the post office. So any country that has that system in place is robbing us. And they take all. And then we get upset. We get upset. What do? We get our fucking tomatoes and eggs out and we start going and throwing them at the government. Or even somebody idiotic, even lower than the fucking government, that take orders from the government, like the police. There's no point in throwing eggs and tomatoes at these people or anything else. They need to go in. It's guillotine time, basically. They're laughing because we're seen as chattel. They conned us every Sunday, dragged us to church on Sundays. Like I said, I can criticize them. I have Protestant and Catholic ancestry. I even have Catholic and Protestant ancestors buried in the same graveyard along the Irish border. I can criticize both, but mainly it's the Rome rule, and how Rome rule works in secret is why you are all upset and why you are all protesting. These are the people that give the orders to the governments to fuck your life over. Now, because people are waking up, they're done with us. So, Ireland and the world is running under this huge false history of a 2,000-year-old Christian belief system. And in Ireland, it's what, 1,500 years old. Oh, poor St. Patrick fucking came over on a boat, blah, 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 lit a fire, told the king about Christianity, and they all changed. Oh, well, go ahead. Yeah, 1,500 years ago, nobody knows what the fuck happened 150 years ago, never mind 1,500 years ago. All evidence is suggesting that this Holy Roman Empire did not get into Ireland until around 1800. So all three Abrahamic religious belief systems, Judaism, Islam, and Catholicism, all conjured up by the same mob not 200 years ago, placed in the same fucking square foot of sand in the desert where you couldn't grow a fucking carrot, and they've been fighting over for 2,000 years. All bullshit. That did not happen. They have no history. Well, the only history we know was what came out of the history books that were written after the 1870s. Now, they burned every library in the world down, but they didn't get rid of every piece of literature. And back in the early 1900s, Conor McDarry wrote about who they were and how they operated and how they lie and how they give themselves a fake history to make themselves go back so long in time. No. They showed up in the last 250 years and they fucked the world up. And they're in these stolen cathedrals with dates on them, 1910, 1890. These fucking things are 800 to 1,000 years old. They were never built for collective religious practices. Practices. What does practice mean? And who practices practices? Law is a practice. Religion is a practice. Medicine is a practice. I practice medicine. I practice law. I practice my religion every Sunday. Imagine I came around and said, you want me to do your roof? And I was going to tell you, I'll practice doing your roof for you. I'm not really actually going to do your roof. I'm only going to practice doing it. Fuck off. We need to tell all these people to fuck smooth off. Because they're the cause of all of our fucking problems. And this Jesuit banking system in Rome owns the judiciary where all law is practiced. They own these churches where all religious is practiced. And they own the fucking big pharma companies where all medicine is practiced. Nothing ever gets fucking done. Yeah? So, through their fake religions, they hid God because they hate God. Now, the Crown administers the English-speaking world on behalf of Rome. And anywhere where you see the word register, you're in trouble. And anytime you have to register something, you're giving it away. Register your house, register your car, your gun, your dog, whatever. The bar, the British Accredited Registry, which is the judiciary, is a registry. What does register mean? Regis is crown and TER is contract. It's a crown contract. Your house is a crown contract. Your car is a crown contract. Any possession you have to register is a crown contract. And on paper, they claim ownership. That's why they can take your house, they can take your car anytime they want, because they're claiming it's already established. Now, I'm in Europe, I'm in France, and Spain and Italy and places like that. They're a bit different, but they're similar, but their language is based on Latin garbage. I really don't know how to dissect some of the French words. Usually in France, to register something means enregistration. I don't know what the fuck that means. but it has to mean something similar. And that fake religion that ran Ireland, probably the most Catholic country, famous Catholic country in the world. That's because the Holy Roman Empire uses Ireland as a base to run the world from. The United States of America is run because it's owned by them. They own the cities, they own the buildings in the cities, they own the land in many, many, many different names and groups. I talked in the last video about the Faran, the Faranesi, and the black nobility Venetian banking family that Castro is a descendant of and Trudeau is a descendant of. They own America and Canada. Castro was a more powerful person than every fucking American president put together. Why could they own the fucking place? Did we know that? No. To us, well, he's a communist in Cuba. And king of the fucking West, the motherfucker. Anyway, so Ireland, that system was just a control mechanism to keep you down while they robbed you. And I mean, the fucking Nuremberg Code still stands. I said it before, it wasn't just the nasty bastards in the labour camps that were took out and fucking hung up. Many doctors were strung up for crimes against humanity. Many lawyers were strung up for treason. Lawyers, judges, treason, high treason. Journalists were executed for treason. Politicians, judges, executed for treason. Nuremberg Code still stands. But while all this is going on, these, I don't know what the fuck to call them. I'm trying to think of a fucking worst bad word, but I can't. It's Sunday morning, so I don't know why. But they set the rules on our taxation. They own the judiciary, they own the health system, they own security. They own it in every fucking country. And your birth certificate is your slave bond. It is owned by them. They own the patent on birth certificates all over the fucking world, no matter what country you're born in. The church sells your birth certificate to the bank, and the bank then set up the whole education system to turn you into a worker and not a thinker. And then they can take 40 or 50% of what you earn and you hand it over. Well, you're not a full slave, you're only 2/5 of a slave. 2 days a week you work for free, you hand them over all the money. And if they didn't have this money, they wouldn't be able to fucking clamp down on you like a fucking pair of vice grips. And the CIA is the military wing of the church, the Jesuits. And all 3-letter agencies the world over are part of that military wing. And they frighten you, and they scare you, and they threaten you to pay your way and pay your taxes. And many people have made an analogy of the world that we live in from movies. And a lot of people revert to Star Wars as a history of a certain group of people that they try to make themselves look like they've been suppressed forever. And it also can apply to us here in the rest of the world. We're all under the same fucking cosh. But there's one thing about Star Wars that everybody is forgetting. And that is, at the end of the movie, there was a hole in their armor. And Luke Skywalker found that hole in their armor. And just as they were about to pounce and destroy all before them, bang, in we went, in they went, in he went, not we, I wasn't there, through the hole in the armor. And they took the monster down. They destroyed it in one move. So you had to have a part 2 and a part 3 because the motherfuckers keep coming back. Never, if you get rid of them, I don't know how you're going to get rid of them, how you get rid of them and bring them back. they're like, that's like I say, shark's teeth, they keep coming. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I got so much to do this morning, fires to light, shit like that. So love you all. Take care. Bye.